This week, we have a new trail at our bike park, and I'm super excited to showcase it to you. It's a green flow trail that we're calling Berm Crusher. The trail is nearly finished, and even now, it's one of the most fun lines that we have. Today, we're going to be rebuilding a berm, building a new berm, and then building a roller. I'll build the final part off camera so that we can have party laps at the end of the video. First off though, a tour of what I've built so far on this line. To get to the entrance of Berm Crusher, we have to go a little bit down Silly Sausage until you come across the entrance. The first thing you go across is a little steep plunge into your first berm, which banks left. I can't even count how many times we've rebuilt this berm, and it's sculpted to ensure maximum send. Next, you have a really tall 180-degree berm that throws you in the exact same direction you just came from. This berm is awesome, and it was originally two berms, but we decided to connect it for more fun. Since the radius of the berm decreases at the end, you can carry a lot of speed out of it into your next roller. After this tiny roller, you go into another 90-degree left banking berm. This is the berm that we're rebuilding today, just because it's not steep enough for the amount of speed you come in with. After a plunge out of the berm, you go into two massive rollers, one cambered and one not. These rollers feel like machine-built bike park features, and they're very tall. Both of these features do a great job at directing you, and they also give you a ton of speed. After these rollers, we're going to build a nice long berm, and then a pump track of rollers to the end. So let's get started. First up is the berm. As I said before, this berm needs a rebuild just because you come at it really fast, and it's not quite steep enough yet. To get dirt, I'm cutting bench. Bench is where you make a hillside flat, and it's really effective for getting dirt and riding on. The first step is to cut away all the topsoil, and then you can just dig straight down. To get all this dirt, I'm actually using a pickaxe, and this is a very underrated tool. You can use this for pretty much anything except for packing. The dirt from right here is actually really good, maybe some of the best on this entire property, just because there aren't really that many rocks. Ideal dirt is dense, light in color, and doesn't contain rocks. Now that we have all this loose dirt, we can put it towards the top of the berm so it creates the perfect angle for riding down. I'll also be lining the top of the berm all the way up just so that we get a consistent angle. After getting more dirt with the pickaxe, we can start lining the entire top of the berm, and we have a pretty good system. As my friend carves farther into the hillside, I can take that dirt and pull it up towards the top of the berm. This makes sure the berm angle is consistent, and it's turning out to be really effective. As we move more and more dirt with this awesome system, the berm is starting to take shape again. Now, we can use a rake and actually shape it. For this particular berm, I'm pulling some of the dirt that fell backwards up to the top, and I'm putting a harder angle on the actual berm so that you can come in with more speed. As always, this stage of building a berm looks super cool, so let's admire it. Now, we can pack the berm thoroughly with the back of a flat shovel. After a few more layers of packing, this berm's finally done, and it does so much to help you carry speed. This might be one of my favorite berms in the park, and the plunge out of it is really satisfying too. But there's one slight problem.
Tree just fell across the trail, and now we have to clean it out of the tree.
Earlier, there was a dead tree leaning right up against a living tree. We didn't know this tree was going to fall, but a strong gust of wind came and knocked it right over the berm, so we gotta fix it and clean it up. Luckily, the tree didn't fall against the first two berms, and I think this is the best possible outcome. The berm repair was super simple and just took a little bit more dirt and shaping. As we were building the berm, we thought about cambering the second roller even more, so that's what we're going to do now. This should help you carry speed into the new berm that we're going to build after, and it's going to be really fun. I'm cutting bench even farther in from where we are now, and I'm going to put all that dirt onto the right side of the roller. This process of getting dirt is really easy, and we found a lot of good dirt under, so we don't have to dig down. Now that we have all this dirt, I can start shaping it with the backside of the rake. The goal is to camber this roller so that it turns you into where the next berm is going to be. Just like most cambered rollers, I think this will really help with direction change, so we can get to packing it. The most commonly made mistake when packing a roller is making the top flat. Packing a roller is actually fairly difficult because you have to get a nice round edge. As you can see here, I'm pushing the shovel forward and making sure there's no lumps. I'm making sure this roller is very nicely packed in so that we don't leave tire marks. Now that the roller's done, we can start on the berm. I didn't really film too much of this, but if you want an in-depth berm tutorial, I'll link one in the description. This berm we lined with sticks, and then we're just adding a little bit of dirt to the top. The angle on this one won't need to be as hard because you don't come in with nearly as much speed as the existing one. Just like that, this berm's complete, and we can start on the final project for this video. I'll be building 2 rollers and then a roller step up, but I'll only show you the first roller. To do this, I'm cutting bench in again, and we're using all that dirt on the roller. This one doesn't need to be nearly as big, and it's just meant to gain speed from. Putting all this loose dirt on the roller is very little effort, just because you don't have to dig down with a shovel. This seems like enough dirt now, so let's get to shaping and packing. The process for packing is basically the same as the other one, except we're making the roller a little bit more mellow. This looks really good now, but before we have a session, I'm going to show you the other roller and then the roller step up. This right here is the second roller, and it looks very similar to the first. The roller step up is the same size, except there's an actual lip where you can jump it. Now, it's time for an awesome session. This trail is so amazing, and I can finally say I'm addicted. That's it for today's video, and next week I'll show you something that I filmed before DUTHIE's closure. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.